Good evening, everybody. I'm David Paul. This is the KHOU 11 Weather Center. Severe Thunderstorm Watch will remain in effect through about 2 a.m. this morning for not one but two lines of thunderstorms that are working their way across Houston and southeast Texas right now. So far, we've only had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, but it would not surprise me if with this second line, and here's what I'm talking about. Here's the first line that's come through, particularly our northern counties, Montgomery County, Walker County, Polk, San Jacinto. But our second line right here, that's a pretty mean line of thunderstorms. Now, I don't see any warnings for that line. It's just below severe thunderstorm warning criteria. So it's going to be bumpy and thundery for the next couple of hours as that second line moves across all of southeast Texas. And there is a spot on this line that has me a little concerned. I want to show it to you. I'll zoom into it right now. It's up near Lake Conroe. And the line has a very unique, a very distinctive shape to it, and it is a bow. See how it's bowed out? That's called a bow echo. When you see that formation on the radar, what causes that is what you had as a downburst here, and that is now pushing that line and bending it and bowing it out in the center. It's an indication that you have very strong straight line winds at the surface blowing right through the middle of that bow. It's just like pulling back a bow and arrow. The bow bends and the arrow goes right through the center of the bow. That's it. So this is just past the northern and central part of Lake Conroe, where I'm sure the wind gusted 50 to 60 across the lake. 1097 bridge, I don't want to be on that right now. I know that's windy and rainy. And now Panorama Village. So here's Conroe proper. Cut and shoot, heads up. That is moving right in your direction. This has the potential to produce wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour, and that could bring down a couple of limbs, and that could cause a power outage. We don't have a warning, an official warning for this cell at the moment, but I'm telling you, this is the type of feature, that bow echo, that produces very strong straight line winds. So cut and shoot Panorama Village, I-45 up there at a Highway 105, north side of the 336 loop around Conroe. We're watching you very carefully. We'll zoom out. Here's Houston, Harris County. Not too much going on. Southeast near Baytown, Pasadena, a few scattered showers. That's it. This line extends past Navasota to Industry in Austin County and then back toward the Grange and Schulenburg. But it looks like all of this is going to swing through our southwestern counties here over the next couple of hours. Again, not severe, but strong thunderstorms. And even a strong thunderstorm can produce a wind gust 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. That can cause a limb to come down and cause at least an isolated power outage or a little bit of damage. So that's the threat we have out of that line coming into Columbus and Sealy here over the next hour or so. Southeast side, good evening Galveston, Bolivar Peninsula. There you are, Baytown, Mont Belvieu, Chambers County. You're getting wet, but that's not only is this not severe, but there's no lightning with this as well. Here's where we do have some lightning and thunder. Through northern Brazoria County, so Pearland, Friendswood getting a thunderstorm right now. That extends all the way back to the southwest to Bay City and Blessing. And again, that line not severe, but it's strong, producing cloud to ground lightning, brief heavy rain as it moves through. And these storms have been moving at a pretty rapid clip. They've been moving at a good 30, 35 miles an hour for most of the evening. That's a 3-hour loop. Is that a 3-hour loop? Yep, that's a 3-hour loop. So they really have raced across a lot of ground over the past 3 hours. So it won't last long when these storms come through your neighborhood, but for a brief moment you'll get heavy rain, cloud to ground lightning, brief heavy rain, and maybe some gusty winds. So if you've got some loose lawn furniture or it's garbage night, bring those cans in until these storms pass on through. And at the moment we have no active warnings, but we are under a severe thunderstorm watch until 2 a.m. Ingredients are there that could cause a severe thunderstorm. We'll go through the loop again. There's your bow echo heading toward Panorama Village, cut and shoot Conroe. Expect very strong winds coming out of the northwest here over the next 30 minutes as that blows through. That line extends back toward Industry, New Ulm, Cat Spring, and Austin County. It's going to move through Columbus and Sealy here pretty quickly. It's in Schulenburg out further to the west right now, so that's moving southeast. Rain across Galveston Bay into Chambers County, not severe. Strong thunderstorms from Pearland, Friendswood through Lockridge down to Bay City, and that is going to swing through Brazoria and Matagorda County, and probably western Galveston County over the next hour or so before it kicks on off the coast. Here's the big picture, and it really did evolve into two lines. We had this first line form, and now we've got this secondary line, and that actually is the leading edge of a cold front. Now, there's not a whole lot of cold air with this frontal boundary. It's just going to be a wind shift to the northwest tonight and tomorrow. It's going to dry us out, and it will make for delightful weather tomorrow. But that front is also acting as a lifting mechanism, and that's giving us that line. That's why they line up in a line along that frontal boundary. Computer models going into midnight. There's our line of thunder showers coming across the heart of Houston. This is the second line. We go into 1 a.m. They push to the coast, and then by 2:33, we're done with any type of severe threat, and the rain comes to an end after 3:30 for all of southeast Texas, and after that, things are going to improve rapidly. Severe threats, for the most part, will be straight line winds, like we're seeing in Montgomery County right now, Cut and Shoot Panorama Village, from these bow echoes that could form on that line. That by far is the greatest severe weather threat tonight. Hail is low to maybe moderate. We've seen some hail, but most of it is pea size or smaller. In fact, I retweeted a fellow's tweet up from Grimes County when a strong thunderstorm went through there a little bit ago, and the hail that came out of that was very tiny, but I retweeted a picture that he took. Thank you for taking that picture so we could post it. Flooding's a very light threat because this is moving so fast. Tornado threat is light, but there is a tornado threat. It's not zero, and here's why. The winds are blowing at different direction with height. Vertical wind shear, that's what that is. Winds blowing at different directions with height. So right now you've got onshore winds coming in out of the southeast, 10 to 15 miles an hour. That's down at the surface.
David, we got a tornado warning, Liberty County until 11:45.
Have we just popped a tornado warning? Yeah, that figures because we were just talking about the tornado threat. Let's see if that's lit up here for me.
It just passed on.
There we go. Yeah, Northeast Liberty County. Let's do this. So Northeast Liberty County, we've got just a tiny little bit of a leg of a storm here that's producing just enough rotation. That's it right there, Northeast Liberty County. And you can see, and I'll zoom in on this, there's a little bit of a hook. So we've got a radar indicated tornado up here across Northeast Liberty County. Let's get a real tight zoom in on this one. So near Clark, and that's Highway 146, Clark. And you can see why we call it a hook echo. See how it's hooking around the rain band? What that indicates is that you've got rotation inside that storm, and that's the type of storm that can produce a tornado. Now again, this is a radar indicated tornado, and that tornado warning, let's see, let me light it up for us. That's in effect, that just went into effect, so probably will stay in effect for at least the next half hour, 40 minutes or so. See if we can get some information to come up. There we go. Liberty County until 11:45. So for the next half hour. Although this storm will likely not be in Liberty County for the next half hour. This is going to quickly move off toward Thicket and Votah and Bragg here pretty quickly. So this storm itself is racing to the east at about 30-35 miles an hour. If you are near this cell, you want to take cover on the lowest floor of your home, away from windows. That's the safest place to be. An interior closet, an interior bathroom, that's the safest place to be, away from any potential broken glass or flying debris. With these small tornadoes that we quite often get with these lines of thunderstorms like this one, they can, the tornado itself is not too terribly dangerous, but the little limbs that it can break, and then that can break a window, and if you're near that window, that can cause serious injury. So first floor of the home of business, away from windows, interior closet or interior bathroom, as few windows as possible. Try to get away from exterior walls of your home or business. That's the safest place to be during a tornado. And again, tornado warning now for Northeast Liberty County until 11:45 p.m. this evening. I'm going to add this to my rundown. And then what I do want to do is we're gonna scope this. So we're going to use the Doppler part of Doppler radar. Yeah, and we've got a nice little couplet there. Okay, so Doppler radar. This is the radar beam looking inside the storm, and we can see whether or not the raindrops are blowing toward the radar site or away from the radar site. And in this case, the radar site is down to the south and west. What you've got in the red are raindrops that are blowing away from the radar site. And in the green, you've got raindrops that are blowing toward the radar site. And aha, it reveals a rotation. And that's what we call a radar indicated rotation, a radar indicated tornado. That's how we know we've got rotation in that storm. It's the Doppler part of Doppler radar. We can look inside the storm and see the internal structure, which way those raindrops are moving, away from the radar site or toward the radar, toward the radar site. And we get this nice little feature called a couplet, and that shows us where the focus of rotation is. So indeed, we've got a radar indicated tornado, northeast Liberty County, Highway 146 near Clark. Interior room of your home, away from windows, excuse me. If you can get in a closet, get in an interior bathroom, away from exterior walls, that is the best place to be. And again, this also is giving us a nice little hook echo, once again indicating that we've got rotation. And what you're seeing here are the raindrops reflecting the radar beam back to the radar site. So you've got this feature where it's wrapping around. Why is it wrapping? Why is it making that feature? It's wrapping around a focused rotation, and that's the type of storm that can produce a tornado with very little or no warning. And sometimes they don't produce tornadoes at all. Sometimes it's just, we just warn for it and it ends up not producing at all. Let's hope that that ends up being the case there. I'm going to go back to the big picture. So here's the big picture. So that right now, that tornado warning near Clark, Highway 146, northeast Liberty County, is the only active warning that we have on the map right now. That's in effect until 11:45. That cell is about to cross the county line and exit our official county warning area. So folks near Clark and Highway 146, that's just about to exit your neighborhood. The rest of the area, it's lit up with lightning and thunder. We've got these what are now two lines of storms, one here, now pushing into our coastal counties, Brazoria, Matagorda County, Southeast Harris County. And then line number 2 has developed, and this one's a little more solid, and it's back here toward Columbus, to Brenham, to Navasota, back to Conroe. Conroe, you're getting your second round of storms. And this is the part where we have our second severe threat. Again, here's our tornado warning, our warn cell, northeast Liberty County, Highway 146 near Clark. And then our second spot that has our attention is just east of Lake Conroe. And let's see if this bow echo has maintained its shape. We can put them both up here. Yeah, the bow is broken down a little bit. Earlier, we had a nicely defined bow echo here, indicating very strong straight line winds through Conroe, Panorama Village to Cut and Shoot. But now that has become much more linear, an indication that the winds in that have subsided a little bit. And the Weather Service never did warn for it, so we didn't get any reports or any indication that we were getting winds up over 57 miles an hour. Good. Probably had some pea-sized hail with that Willis Cut and Shoot. That may end up being the worst of it. Once again, though, I don't know why I did that. There we go. There's the latest radar update. Okay, we still do have a bit of a bow. That's a pretty good little bow right there. So we call it a bow echo because what you've got are strong straight line winds at the surface, and they literally shape that line of thunderstorms. They bend it, they push it out. Part of the middle of that races out ahead of the rest of the line, and you get that bow shape, and it literally looks like a bow and arrow, and the arrow represents where the strongest straight line wind threat will be. So now over to Cut and Shoot, Panorama Village, east of I-45 in Montgomery County. And again, here's our cell that is officially warned by the Weather Service for a tornado warning. Clark Highway 146, that's in effect for another 20 minutes or so. It looks like our little bit of rotation here is maybe weakening a little bit. It's not as well pronounced. That hook echo is not quite as pronounced. It's still there. Let's look inside the storm. Again, this is Clark, northeast Liberty County, Highway 146. And now that couplet that little rotation has moved right to the Liberty County line. You see it? The red indicating raindrops that are moving northeast. The brighter green here moving moving northwest, moving southeast. When you get that little feature here, it indicates a rotation. And so there is rotation here, but it doesn't look that pronounced. We've seen much stronger couplets than this, couplets than this not even produce tornadoes. So this is a weak one, but it doesn't mean it can't be producing a small tornado. So again, here's Clark, northeast Liberty County. There's Texas Highway 106 moving east. It's just about to cross the Liberty County line. Just to set your bearings a little bit better, you see Highway 105 there? So this is going to be north of Highway 105, north of Moss Hill, north of Baston. So Saratoga, if you guys are up and watching us, that may drift in your direction if it holds together. But again, for now, tornado warning northeast Liberty County, the far northeast quadrant. And if we do have any type of tornado activity up here, it's right on the northeast county line of Liberty County. And here's a little more clear look at the actual radar. Here's where your warning is right now. Let me set your bearings. There's Houston, there's Conroe, here's Liberty, there's Highway 90. And so you've got 146 and then 105 highways right in here. And that's the cell that has the potential to produce a tornado moving east at about 30 miles an hour. It's about to cross over the Liberty County line, moving in the direction of Bragg, off to the east-northeast. So there is our tornado warning. Clark, it looks like you may be getting heavy rain, but if there is a tornado with this, and we just had a radar update, it's now moved across the county line, most likely right in here, just to the southwest of Thicket, and now exiting Liberty County. There's Highway 146. In fact, take a look. So here's the Weather Service tornado warning polygon. The rotation appears to have now moved just to the east of their polygon. These things can move very quickly. And this one is moving east at about 30, 35 miles an hour. So that tornado warning polygon will be expired and will be reissued if that rotation continues to the east of Liberty County. Once again, there's the big radar. We'll put this in motion for you. You can see how this is moving. In fact, let's just zoom out. Okay, so here's everything, and it finally evolved into two lines of storms. The first line, a bit of a broken line, big gap through Harris County. Line number two, it's trying to make a gap here into Harris County as well, but I think Harris County, Houston, we're going to get at least some lightning and thunder out of that one, more than the first one, as this races east. And speaking of that bow echo right there, look at how rapidly, see how that's pushed out ahead of the main line, that little bow part? So again, that indicates winds that could easily be exceeding 50 miles an hour in a straight line. Again, that's moving into eastern Montgomery County. And look, also, they just reissued a new tornado warning as that crossed over the Liberty County line just to the southwest of Thicket and Bragg. We'll start here. So here we are. So now this has moved on to the east. And it doesn't look like it's that strong, but still strong enough where the Weather Service is concerned enough to issue a tornado warning for Hardin County. That will be in effect till 11:45. So that's our cell now exiting Liberty County and exiting our county warning area until 11:45. That's that. And then here's our, if we're getting any type of straight line wind damage right now, it's happening right here. Right here in our bowed out section of the line. That's where the strongest winds will be coming out of the west-northwest. So Security, Cleveland, Shepherd, 59, that bow echo and the strong winds are racing in your direction. You know, southern San Jacinto County. Again, this is going to move into northern portions of Liberty County. That bow echo may produce at least some minor wind damage. We could see some limbs down, smaller limbs. It is at least a minor power outage threat up here. Nothing too big and bad. We don't have a severe warning for that cell, but I'm telling you that type of feature does produce gusty wind. So that's where we stand right now with the radar. What about tomorrow morning? You're going to love it. After this rainy, stormy night is over, and by about 3:34 in the morning, all the rain is gone. By the time you get up 7, 8 o'clock, clouds are beginning to break. It's a cool start. We'll be in the 50s. It will be lovely. Probably still some wet spots on the roads. By noon, we're comfortable, 69. High temp goes to 74. It is going to be a spectacular Tuesday. That is where we stand right now. Severe Thunderstorm Watch stays in effect until 2 a.m. Slight risk for an isolated tornado. We just saw that in Northeast Liberty County. That warning in Liberty County is come and gone. We'll keep watching it, and if we get any more bad weather, we'll break in and let you know about it. And otherwise, we're on the air on the TV side with all the latest pictures and updates at 4:30 on KHOU 11 News in the morning. So a live update on the TV side at 4:30 to 7. Just in case there's any trouble on the roads, you'll want to tune in. Cheetah and Jen will have you covered. We'll see you here if we get more bad weather. We'll see you on the TV side at 4:30 in the morning for a complete update.